What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and during the week, we take a look at the Dow Jones. At the end of the video, we will take a look at that. I do believe the Dow Jones has topped. That's my opinion. We'll be checking it out. Definitely stick around for the whole video. I'm going to show you some bearish and some bullish signals, what's going on and what I believe is going to happen. So don't forget, we also have a free Discord group in the description below the video. It's totally free. Check it out. It's an awesome community, somewhere to hang out if you want to talk about crypto. Let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And always remember, this is my opinion. Doesn't have to be yours. All right, we're going to be taking a look at the news headlines, get a feel for the sentiment as usual. 3 reasons Bitcoin price could be on the verge of new all-time highs. Crypto long and short. Bitcoin's quiet progress is pointing to a bull run. Investors turn bullish as Bitcoin exchanges reserves drop to monthly low. Bitcoin will rise unless something goes really wrong. Bitcoin short-lived spike. Russia gets tougher on crypto. Bitcoin, a value investor's take on the asset bubble. 6 million Bitcoin are secured and shared or by shared custody. Analyst predicts next bull run will send Bitcoin to 150,000. So definitely more bullish than bearish news. Makes me more bearish, as you guys know. I do have a scenario where we can go up to around 10.1 or so, and I believe that would be a bull trap, but we'll talk about it. Fear and greed index, we're at 53. We dropped 1 point from yesterday, still in the neutral zone. So there's not a whole lot of fear in the market, and there's more bullishness than bearishness in the market, that's for sure. All you gotta do is take a look at the thumbnails, guys, from all the other YouTubers, and basically all the other YouTubers, you can just watch one of them and see all of their analysis because they're all the same. They just copy off each other. All right, looking at the monthly. So if we look here, the month of we look here at the month of January is at 93.80. And then we look at last month's close at 94.60, and that was a higher high. In the monthly, we had a lower low, or a lower high in the RSI. That is bearish divergence, guys. Yeah, I still, like I said, and I have been saying, I still think we go down to lower lows. I could definitely be wrong. But we are above our trend line at the 93.40 range. A close of the monthly below this is going to be at the least neutral. If we close below the 85.57 this month, that's extremely bearish. We do have the 55 EMA still sitting at 5,200 down here. And as you guys know, I've had a target of 5,400 for a very long time. All right, let's look at the weekly. Same thing. If we look at the close, the weekly 96.57 in May, and then we look at the close last week at 97.32. We made a higher high in the price, lower high in the RSI, bearish divergence. We do have a bullish case from breaking this falling broadening wedge here. Let me get the RSI out of the way, and the measured move of that is the $16,000 range. I think that's less likely now. We did have a target of the 10.3, and that was the top of this long-term downward sloping resistance. We did wick through it, but unless we are able to break this high, guys, I have no reason to be bullish, and that will make me somewhat bullish, not fully bullish, if we do break that high. We'll take a look at some other stuff, but as you can see, the volume is declining rapidly here while in this uptrend. Same thing if we look at it in the daily. Volume is declining to almost nothing, and a break of this bottom trend line is going to be a huge red volume wick, I believe. Let's look at the targets here. So if we were to go straight up and retest the top of this channel here, That would be somewhere around the 12,200 would be the top of this channel. I don't see that happening. There is a rising broadening wedge that we fell out of over here back in March. Came back, tried to retest it, got rejected. And if we were to retest that again, it's going to be around the $11,000, $11,050 to $11,000 $100 range. This is the point of break where I start to look a little bullish, and that's the 10,560. If we're able to break that, things will look a lot more bullish to me. As of right now, this rise is nothing different than this rise, and you can see what happened after those. It's due for, at the very least, a correction. I have shown a possibility for these lower lows, as there is a gap down here from February 2019 at 35.70, and that's on the 4 hour. Not to say it has to close, but be aware it's down there. We also have one at 11.7, and we have one at 7,600. Go back over to here. So if we look at the Fibonacci retracements on this, guys, if this is the high, and again, we have failed to make a new high since October 26th. We had that 10,000, what was it, 10,500 range, and then we had the 10,500. This one was 10,540, then we had 10,520, and this one was 10,420. We are making lower lows, not higher highs. I don't believe there's any reason at all to be bullish unless we cross this 10,560 range. But if we look at the Fibonacci retracements, the 0.236 is at 88.90, and the 0.386 is at 79.50. Then we have this long-term support and resistance line at 7,700, 0.5 fib, 71.50. And then the target of the breakdown from this rising channel, we did wick through it yesterday, is around the $6,800 range. That is the target of the breakdown from this rising channel. And again, like I said, there's a gap down here. That gap to me would be anyone that went long here would be putting their stop losses here if they're trading it. This would come down, most likely be a wick, grab all the stops, and continue up from there. We'll see what happens, but that's most likely in my opinion. Although I do have the $5,400 target that I've had for a very long time, I'm still looking at that. All right, let's look at one more thing. There was a little bit of, well, let's take a look at the daily RSI. So we had this rising broadening wedge. We did have a bull trap coming back up into it and still got rejected coming down. We were having some, let me widen this up so you can see it. Some hidden bullish divergence here going up. We had higher lows here, lower lows here. I do think that's already played out. And our symmetrical triangle that we were watching, where we had the bull trap come up, had the Bart Simpson pattern come down. I'm going to show you in the 1 hour some more Bart Simpson pattern. We will look at Litecoin and Ethereum here in a minute and then go into the Dow Jones. So looking at this, I left this top trend line here. And as you can see, we fought with it over here and had kind of another mini Bart Simpson. I believe that's what's happening here if we zoom in. We are sitting right on that line now. If we break down from it, the bottom of that channel is going to be around the 95.50 range now. If that breaks, we'd be looking for the bottom of the triangle, and that's going to be around the 91.50. And if that breaks, then we start looking at all of our lower targets here. This one here, if we put a measured move of this symmetrical triangle, say we broke down over in this range, that gets us to the 71.50 range, which is also the 0.5 fib, which makes a lot of sense. Again, the bullish case would be coming up to break this high and break this 10,500, and it's actually 10,560 area where I would feel more comfortable it breaking, becoming bullish. We could come up, retest the top of this channel. If we come back down from here, get support, then that would be extremely bullish. Again, I think that's a lot less likely. Although, here's another bullish sign. Was watching this as a head and shoulders here, and we put the neckline across. We got rejected at the neckline twice. We finally broke through, and it looks like it's holding as support as of now. So that is one bullish case scenario. But like I said, this is in a lot smaller time frame. Obviously, I showed you the divergence in the weekly and the monthly. That's pretty damn bearish. All right, another thing I wanted to point out here in the 1 hour. So looking at the BART pattern we had over here where we had a nice run up, the BART hair, and then we came back down and made a lower low actually. But just look at the formation on the RSI. Zoom out so you can see it a little bit. And we did it again here. Another BART pattern coming down. And it looks like we are forming another BART pattern yet again. I could be wrong. If we get up and break this 98.50 range, then we could be, and then we make support there, we could be continuing higher. I do have a measured move of the break of this broadening wedge, and that measured move gets us down to around the $9,100 range. Yesterday I played with this a little bit. I put it down here off of these wicks here. We did break down below it, broke back inside it, and are getting support if that's the case. Let's look at this trend line here off of these wicks. We broke above it and have been getting support on it now. If we were to come down, and this is an hourly, so if we were to come down and break that 96, say around the 96.60 area, I would see a continuation down. Although we are getting support on the EMAs right now in the hourly, I don't believe that's going to hold. Let's look at the divergence on the daily also. We had higher highs in the price action and lower highs in the RSI. That's bearish divergence. Still think it's going to play out. The only way I see it playing out today on the daily, 95.50 is the area to break, and then most likely we get some support around the 89.50, which is the 55 EMA, and then we have the 200 EMA at around 83.80. But again, here around the 6,800 is the measured move of the breakdown from this rising channel, which I believe is going to be happening soon, most likely this week, if not, within the next day or two. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, inkerimage.com. Lots of cool crypto stuff on there. You can put anything you want, not just what you see, but definitely check it out. It's a great way to support the channel. Also, if you're interested in trading, I'm going to leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. If you use promo code Savy50, you get 50% on top of whatever you deposit into your trading account. If you use Savy, you can also use Savy25 and get 25% off of your trading fees. All right, looking at LITECOIN on the 4 hour. Excuse me. Looking at LITECOIN on the 4 hour, we are still within this rising channel. The bottom of this channel, as of right now, is around the $44 range. If we were to come down here, break this $44 range, looking at about a $37 LITECOIN. We do have our Fibonacci retracement down here at the 3482. We have the 0.786 at 3050. And then if Bitcoin was to go down to that 3400, and again, I'm not saying it has to, I'm just saying it's a possibility, LITECOIN would most likely be looking for the $20 to $22 range. If we look at the RSI, it does look like we are headed down to retest the bottom of this bigger falling channel here. Look at Ethereum. Well, let's look at a LITECOIN's bullish case. If we break up out of this in the RSI, that could be coming back up to retest top of this channel. That could go as high as 5120. So keep that in mind. This is a very risky spot right here. We are breaking down below the smaller EMAs and getting support right now on the 55, which is at 4640, and the 200 EMA on the 4 hour is 4530. So it does look like we could be breaking down, guys. Ethereum, we are getting support on top of all the EMAs here. If those were to break, the 21 EMA being at around the 242. If we break below that, our next stop is going to be the 237. Break below that, the 200 EMA is going to be down here around the 218. And we were looking at this rising broadening wedge here with a measured move being around, from the breakdown of that, the measured move being around 205. A break, and we zoom out. Again, if we do have a bullish move today, we could most likely be coming up to retest this 247 area. And then if we do break this high over here and everything goes bullish, we could be looking at a $300 Ethereum. I don't think that's likely, but definitely keep in mind it is a possibility. Weirder things have happened. But as of right now, I'm still looking for us to come down to these lower ranges. We look at the RSI. We were watching this yesterday as a rising broadening wedge. Looks like a bull trap coming out of this. We'll see what happens with that. We are getting some divergence, I just noticed. Oh, no, I guess not. We're not really getting too much divergence here, other than this high and this high being even, and down here we're getting a lower high. So a little bit of bearish divergence there. Pre-markets. Looking, let me refresh this. DOW, as of making this video, DOW opens in about 3 hours. It is 131 points up on the pre-market. I do believe they have topped out. We talked about this Friday. I had this target of 2,700 retested in the bottom of this channel here. Let me get the RSI out of the way for a while. If I move that, I did say, if you watch my video from Friday, 27 to 27.2, we got a little higher. We got to 27.3 something. I do believe we have topped out here, guys. And I do believe we're most likely going to continue down. I could be wrong. Obviously, they keep printing money. But I do want to show you, if we look at this swing high, in this swing high, we're making lower highs in the price action on the daily, higher highs in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence. And you guys know my take on the market as much lower lows coming. I still believe that. I don't believe we will break this high before coming down to lower lows. So that's where I'm at with it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely don't forget to subscribe by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Make sure you smash that like button. Leave your comments down below. And when you hit subscribe, make sure you tick the notification bell. And then another box will pop up. Make sure you hit the all notifications to make sure you get notified, as YouTube is not very good at notifying people. But thanks again. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for helping the channel grow. Share the video if you like it. I'm out.